I'm Nicola Hume and welcome to a very, very special episode of Talking Bull. We are currently, right now, at Goodwood Festival of Speed, celebrating 20 years of Red Bull being part of Formula One. As I speak, I am surrounded by many people. Can we have a shout, please, Red Bull fans? Yeah, because...
The Mercedes guy didn't shout.
He was not cheering.
Did you actually not cheer?
No, of course not.
You did say Red Bull fans.
Yeah.
Shall we just go for... Can we have a cheer, everybody? I mean...
Motorsport, you just say motorsport fans.
Motorsport fans, there we go.
Then I think you will be cheering.
The lineup that we have sat here is absolutely bonkers. So celebrating 20 years of Red Bull, sat next to me is Max Verstappen. Sat next to him is Daniel Ricciardo. Then we're also joined by Christian Klien. And then we're also joined by Mark Webber and David Coulthard as well. This is bonkers. Do you guys get together quite a lot?
Oh yeah, I mean every week.
Do you?
No.
But I mean, it must be quite a moment, especially as like a current driver, to be sat with legends. Like, when you first sort of met each other.
That's right.
He
looks laughing himself.
Right?
The legend. I think the legend's down there.
I'm going with legends
We're sitting with the legend.
The first time that you met the OG Red Bull drivers,
must
have been a big moment.
I was a kid, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember it was probably like Spa. I met Mark for the first time, and I was quite nervous because he was, in his racing suit coming, and I was like, "Hi, Mark, I'm Max," like trying to give him like a firm hand, like.
Hi, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Mark does have a firm handshake. Yeah.
I remember meeting Max back then. He had a firm handshake too when he was 4.
Very nice.
It was amazing.
You just knew it was in him when he was 4.
I just had to retire before he arrived.
But back in 2005, that's when DC, you were driving, and Christian, you were driving as well. How different does it feel now, witnessing Red Bull being such a successful team? Did you see it and feel like this was going to happen back then?
I think you couldn't see it straight away, obviously, but obviously Red Bull definitely brought, a new touch into Formula One, opened up the paddock with a lot of parties initially.
Yeah.
But then in year 2 and 3, with the signings they did of Adrian Newey and other people who joined the team, they weren't just there to be the fun team, that's for sure. They were here to win, and you could see that, from year to year improving. And, seeing all the 20 cars here today, you just have to pinch yourself that you've been part of this, great success that Red Bull Racing had in all these years.
So all of you are driving up the hill today, I'm assuming, in a car?
I mean, we try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you done it before?
If we succeed, I don't know, but let's...
Have you driven up the hill here at Goodwood before?
No, I don't even know where I'm going. I just follow everyone else.
Yeah, just go straight, you'll be fine. Just go straight and hope for the best.
Yeah, Christian he'll be leading the way. He's an RB1. So
all the pressure is on
He's
me.
got a flag. He's like, like those beach buggies. He's got a flag on his car. He's got to follow the beach buggy up the hill.
Yeah, but he's a mountain boy,
pressure,
so he'll probably take us off-road on the grass, and, it could
Into the
end
hay
up a real
bales.
mess.
Sounds great.
Yeah, sounds expensive.
I hope they have a few spare parts.
I didn't know you'd never done it.
No.
Okay.
No.
Don't let Max go first.
I know Tom wanted to the ride, but then...
Well, but just leave Max at the back, then you should be fine.
He's not used to that,
you're
but
not used
today,
to that, that's the
today
problem.
you can be at the back.
Have you all driven every car in the lineup? From the RB1 up to the RB20?
Definitely not.
I guess actually DC has driven the most.
Because you do a lot of show runs and stuff. So I know, DC, you've driven a lot of the cars.
Yeah,
Have you driven every car?
No, not every car. I've driven RB19.
Right.
I drove it in Silverstone last year.
Yeah.
Just prior to Singapore, which was the only Grand Prix the team didn't win. So I think they're nervous to let me drive RB20 until the end of the season. But saying that, you're not going to have as many victories as you did last year, given the start of the season. But yeah.
So I mean, David and Mark, like, you now work in commentary and punditry. Is it hard for you to not be kind of rooting for Red Bull in the background? Like, you kind of have to stay very professional. Is that tricky?
It's not difficult to just say what you see. At the end of the day, we don't decide who wins the Grand Prix. As they do a little fire up there in the background, which is going to make it difficult
That's probably your car.
to hear what's going on.
RB1.
But I remember being in the commentary box with Mark when Max won his first World Championship.
Yeah.
And because what was unfolding had never happened before, that we were both silent. We didn't say anything, and then we're looking at each other going, oh shit, we're supposed to be saying something.
that was probably the most awkward situation we've had in the commentary box when it was all kicking off in Abu Dhabi. But yeah, look, our job is to tell the fans at home what's going on TV. So of course we've got our loyalties to the team. We're we're a lot of friends here, mechanics and whatnot, and a lot of us are buddies, of course. But we remain impartial and professional. We haven't got splinters in our ass. We don't sit on the fence. We try and do the best job we can.
So I also, while you're all here, have to talk about post-race celebrations. So, I mean, Mark Webber, back in 2013, you took your helmet off, you took the cowl off, did that final lap without, was that planned or was that completely off the cuff?
No, that was pretty spontaneous, actually. So I just thought I'd, because in other sports, tennis, golf, whatever, they see us. But in our sport, they don't see our face. I mean, now, obviously, these guys are superstars. They've got all these amazing streaming channels following them around. And it didn't happen. Back in... When we were racing, it was back in black and white TV. So we had, if I could show my face a little bit, so I took my helmet off. And then Fernando actually passed me on the in-lap and pulled up beside me. And I was going up the hill. And I actually got a rock on the cheek. I'm like, this is actually not a very good idea now. And it's quick without a helmet on. It's bloody quick. It's rapid.
I bet.
And I couldn't put my helmet on my lap, and I got tied up with a hands device, and I'm like, shit, this is backfiring. I'm half pregnant now.
Mark is very popular in Brazil now.
I bet.
Showing his face to everyone.
They didn't know. They didn't know who was driving the car for 12 years. They had no idea who was driving until I took my helmet. It made all the difference. It made such a difference. I took my helmet off.
Hi,
Sergio's in the house.
Hey,
Checo's here.
Now, just in case you were wondering, Checo's been out doing some stuff with Ford. You've all got a very, very busy day.
I think Checo's just very keen to drive. Look at him. He's
That's
ready.
what it is. He's ready to go.
I'm just ready to go. What about you
He
guys?
sleeps in this.
How are you doing, Checo?
I already had a run on the very fast van from Ford. It's impressively fast.
You went up the hill?
Yeah.
And is that your first time going up the hill?
First time ever, yes.
And did you know where you were going?
No.
Right.
I just followed the signs.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's quite really fast. When I jumped on throttle, I couldn't hold my head forwards. It's really impressive how fast it is.
Can we discuss donuts, please? Because
The food.
I mean, we can talk about food later. But doing donuts in an F1 car, is that way trickier than just doing it in a normal car? Because you guys are going to be doing donuts up the hill at some point this weekend. So is that like a whole different skill level?
We could lie and say yes.
I'm just happy to get off the line. I'm not doing donuts today. You guys can do it.
All right, who's doing donuts today?
If you got space, it's okay. It's when you don't have much space to work with, then it can be trickier. But if you got space, you pretty much drop the clutch, give it some throttle, and you can... Oh, I don't want to disappoint it. It's really hard.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it really?
It's super hard.
Yeah.
Just make it sound like really, really hard.
You need
What's
a lot
cool
of
is
talent for it.
if you can try to jam your knees in the wheel, so you can take both hands off to hold the wheel.
Oh.
That's the cool kids do that.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Mark, you look like you were about to say something.
No, I was just going to say we didn't have much power in our car, so it's actually hard to do a donut.
I'm going to throw this out there because we have legendary drivers and we have modern day drivers. Who had it harder?
Ooh la la. Wow.
You're in danger.
Wow.
You're in dangerous territory there. You're in very
Who had
dangerous
traction
territory.
control?
I think DC.
They used to do like 10 races a year, no? As well.
10.
When you started, how many?
We had 15.
But a lot of testing.
We had 15 races, and it was mainly in Europe. Yeah, I spent a good sort of 6 weeks on my yacht.
Of course you
Yeah,
did.
we had lots of free time. These guys are working really hard, They're at promotions all the time.
I mean, it's a lot of travel in 24 races. Danny, are you enjoying it? Being back on the grid, doing your thing with VCARB, are you loving every second?
Yes, definitely. I probably talked about it a bit, but I did get to a point where I felt like I needed some time just to switch off a little bit.
Yeah.
But just take a back seat. But when I got back in the car last year in Budapest, it's been a year pretty much.
Yeah.
It felt right again, and I let's say all the love was back, and I'm enjoying it. And naturally, you still have highs and lows and good days and not. But I'm just back in a place where I'm solely putting all my energy into it and leaving the racetrack feeling like, all right, done what I could, and that's like a feeling that I'd probably lost or missed for a little bit. So it's cool. And yes, it is busy, and that's what we chose to do. But there's no complaints coming with that. It's good. Racing's fun. The midfield's tight. Obviously, we're trying to get closer up the grid, but at least we're in battles most weekends, and that's fun.
Yeah. I mean, celebrating 20 years of Red Bull, I want each of your highlights, even if it doesn't involve yourself. What has been a standout moment for each of you within Red Bull over the last 20 years? Checo, I'm starting with you. Go for it.
I'll say everything, because I wouldn't choose just one moment. I think every single experience I've had with the team, the highs, the lows, just going through the waves together. And at Red Bull, something that is really unique about it is that they take everything out of you. You have to, everyone is giving everything from a personal level, from a professional level, and it goes through the whole organization. So to me, that's the most impressive things to be part of Red Bull culture, and something that I've enjoyed and I haven't found anywhere else.
Awesome answer. DC.
I would say the sort of incidents where the team had to overcome maybe a little bit of adversity. So I'm thinking, Daniel running at the back of Max in Baku. I'm thinking Mark.
Wait, why was that just about me?
No, because I'm thinking Mark and Seb crashing together in Hungary, in Turkey, excuse me. I'm thinking, I'm thinking Checo just missing the back of Max in Miami. Imagine what that would be like. Anytime you have teammates
That
crash.
would be a highlight of all.
So highlights are crashes,
Because
basically.
I've crashed into my teammate before. It is a horrible experience. But so those moments when they overcome. Him flying in Valencia. I remember being in commentary, and you don't know whether you're losing a buddy. This is a sort of Donald Campbell moment as he goes up into the sky. And then he climbs out of the car and he's in good shape. So it's those moments where you go, I'm so happy it's not me, that really stand out. But, Max getting that first title, that could have gone either way. People still ask about it today, who could have won it. And I said at the time, I think both Max and Lewis deserved to win the World Championship that year because those two were on such a level.
Yeah.
In the end, there had to be one. And Max couldn't have done anything more than what was laid on the table for him.
Yeah.
And when he went for the pass in the hairpin, I'm thinking end of back straight.
Yeah.
But Max doesn't think like normal people. he's like too far back, and he gets the pass done. And we're in the comm box going, oh, they're going to crash. They're going to crash. And they didn't. And he went on to get that first title. So there's been so many amazing moments.
Mark.
Can't top that. But it was actually when I arrived from Williams, I came to Red Bull, and where we get ready to, before we drive the car, that Red Bull offered a shower, which was really cool in the hospitality. We only had one, so DC and I had to shower together.
Did you now?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
So that was.
I did the back, he did the front.
Yeah. So, and the schedules were synced. So obviously the shower time was at the same time. So that's in the 20 years of the team. I think that was for me really special.
Really special, lovely shower with DC. Very nice.
It's what you miss the most of Red Bull, showing together.
Shower
with-
DC.
He's a hairy man. He's a self-dryer. He just shakes and he's
right.
dry.
Okay.
I've got no hair on my body.
So do you not blow dry?
He's well manicured though. So
Yeah.
Christian, give me your highlight
Yeah,
before
yeah.
we go off on a horrible
Yeah, enough
tangent.
of that. The hairy belly. That's all right. I think I have to take on my Austrian hat now, because I've been 2004 already with the team. It was Checo. It was a very British team. Obviously, most of the people stayed in 2005. It was still the Milton Keynes-based team. But to have an Austrian company like Red Bull running the team, me as an Austrian driver being part of it, I think that was just, if I'm looking back now, very special, a highlight of me. Very proud that Austria is a very small country, but it's a very successful team. Two teams in Formula One for a long time now. I think that just makes Austria very proud.
Nice. Danny Rick.
I'm trying to figure out. It's hard. Look, there's so many. I would say coming up as a junior driver, like going through it and having that support from a young age, but also having that, I guess, having, helmet a lot of the time.
Yeah.
pushing me and trying to get the most out of me.
Early phone calls?
Very early.
Good.
How early?
If you miss a call with helmet, when you call back, it's never, I just got out of bed. It's, I just finished a 2-hour cycle, or I was training. Like,
At what sort of time in the morning?
early enough that you're still in bed, but according to him, you're not in bed.
Right.
All right?
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, you're like, I've just been to the gym.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
It was always scary, but I think it helps so much, especially as I said, as a junior, to go through that. And I look back on that now, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. And so then getting in, 2014, getting into the Red Bull Racing team and having my first race there in Melbourne, let's say, it wasn't like the task wasn't yet complete, but in a way it was. Like, we'd got there together, and that was through a lot of their help and guidance and tough love at times. And so that was there, like being on the grid in Melbourne at obviously my home race, as a Red Bull Racing driver, that was like a really special moment for me, where I felt, because this sport at times feels very individual, like, we're the driver, we're doing all the work, but a lot of the time you realize that it's taken a lot of people to get here. And in that moment I realized that was like, it wasn't just me that had done this, it was everyone put their little bit in to help me get to that moment.
That's brilliant. Max.
First race win with the team, and the first championship. So first race win, I just got promoted into the team. I think, of course, some people are still questioning if that was the right move. Luckily, that weekend went really well.
Still questioning.
So I was
Not still questioning.
I was very happy with that. And I think also for Helmut at the time, like, he felt very happy with, it was his decision to promote me. And then, the first title together was very emotional. Also, after such a year, which was, very, very difficult and hard on everyone. Those moments I will never forget. And just, of course, the general relationship that I have with the team, it definitely just feels like a second family, and I can really be myself, which is also very important.
Yeah. Does it still feel just as special today as it did when you first joined?
It just feels a bit different. I mean, also I grew up, I was 18 when I joined Red Bull Racing, so a bit older and hopefully a little bit wiser.
Yeah.
So it's just great. I mean, there's so many people that, have been there from the start, but also new people that came into the team, and it's just fantastic to be able to work with all of them.
I mean, when you won your first race, you were the youngest driver to win a race. Do you reckon anyone can beat that?
It depends on the rules, right? I mean, after that they changed it to 18. Now I think it's a bit more lenient again. So that's great. I mean, honestly, I don't care about the records, but it was.
You must care about the records, like, a little bit.
I mean, when I'm sitting on the beach and drinking gin tonic, I don't care about that later on. So I'll be fine.
Now, you guys have got a really, really busy day, so I'm going to let you go do your thing. Go drive those cars up the hill. Go do some donuts. Christian, you're not doing donuts. I know you've already said that. Go do some donuts, entertain your crowd, and have a brilliant weekend. Thank you very much for joining me on Talking Ball.
Thank you.